Hey everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the modern EBM groove. Not just talking about how to make the elements, but I really want to show you guys how to make the elements and how it all kind of fits together and how to really understand it so you can make the best tracks ever. To go along with this video, I've got this awesome template that you just heard in the intro. It's right here, and it's at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It's really accessible, but it's an extremely high quality template, one of the best on the market for this style, and it's something you can do right now that'll take your tracks to the next level. You know, honestly, like, buying new gear, tutorials, it can only help so much. These templates, though, I promise if you load this into your Ableton and start working with it, you will start making the best tracks of your life, guaranteed. I've watched a lot of people do it. Link is at the top of the description. Thanks for the support, everybody. Enjoy, and let's dive in. Alright, so the first thing for the EBM groove and really getting that right is you have to have the kick hitting. Like, you just can't have a kick that's too weak. You can't have the kick be, like, not punchy enough. You just need it to be this big, fat, smacking boom, right on top of the groove like that. And the way you get that is you basically want to use like this classic kind of like drum machine, Lindrum style kick. Right, we've all heard this a lot, but if you listen to it, it doesn't really have the low end to get that like really smacking to the mix. So what we do, EQ3, take just the mids and highs, because that's really what you want. Like, when you think of what makes this kick good, it's that, like, in the high end, right? So we got that. And then you're going to take a big, fat, like, techno or house style kick. And that's going to be for the low end, right? Because obviously these kicks really have what you're looking for. That, like, boom, boom, really big, fat, modern kick. So we're taking that. Put it with the Lindrum kick. And one thing you'll notice also is I go in here and I zoom in and get like just right at the start of that. And then same thing with this one. So that they'll line up. Because if you don't have that, check it out. It's way less punchy. So we get that right. And then the next thing is really going to be the bass line. And I use this one to kind of show you like how much those are bouncing off of each other. Because if you listen, like, it really is just that groove where it's the doom, doom, doom. And then this bass line is like all the syncopation around that. Doom, doom, da, doom, doom, like that. And as long as your kick is really smacking in the low end and in the high end like that, and then the bass line is really like got a nice groove like that, like, you can see that's really like at least 60% of what you're hearing, I think. So you really want to just start with that kick and then get the bass right. And with the bass, we really stick to like only a few notes. Like, it's really just G, let's see, G, G sharp, and A sharp. Yeah, like really simple notes. But really it's just chugging on that one low note. And that's part of the groove too. Like, if I start trying to do like all these extra notes with this, it's gonna get really, it's not gonna have the same groove. You know, it's not quite as groovy as just chugging on that one note that really works. And also kind of the stop and start, dum 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 dum, like that, and then having it jump up. And using that like at the end of every 2 bars to make it a bit more exciting. Now, for the sound on this, the way you do it is you have usually like 3 or 4 layers. So it starts with this guy. So what this is it's a square wave and then a saw wave, which is basically a bunch of modulation. There's also a low pass filter. So we've got an envelope on the filter cut off, on the sync of oscillator 1, and then on the fold of oscillator 2. So you can hear that just giving us this nice, juicy, analog sounding bass. We've also got a bit of unison on that. And then the second layer, it's kind of like this wavetable patch, right? You can see it's this bell wavetable and then this brutal metal. Just like a super, like, textured kind of bass. You know, it wouldn't really fit on its own, but when you put that with those other elements, it can fill it out really nicely. And that's got a low pass filter with an envelope on it as well. And then we have that same envelope on the positions of the 2 oscillators. And we have a high pass filter on that. Then we have the third layer. Just like kind of this super saw type of patch. And then our sub, which is really just like a saw wave and a square wave. A little bit of a low pass. Put those all together. And the only effects we have on there is just sidechain, which is very important. And we're sidechaining it to that. So it's like very, tight and punchy. Low cut to make sure it doesn't mess up like the sub of the track or get too messy. And then bass mono. And once you have these 2 grooving, that's a lot of it. Then like the next, I'd say like the last really important thing for that groove would be the snare. It's the doom, doom, doom. The bass line bouncing around the kick, and then this big fat. And you really got to make sure your snare sample is big like this. You don't just want a little or like an 808 snare or something. You want it to be this big fat boom, boom. It needs to match with the kick. Like if your kick is really hard and your snare is really soft, it's not going to work. And if your snare is really hard and your kick is really soft, it's just going to feel like kind of mismatched. This groove is boom, boom. That's a call and response. So I got this one. Plus there's a little bit of this like reverb clap. Also the hi-hats are pretty important too. We got like this big 909 on the upbeats, just like a short one, but it fits well with the. Right, just adding that last little bit of groove, and then these guys kind of jumping off each other. Like using a few hi-hats to do a lot, and then we have a little bit of reverb. And yeah, so that's how I would do it. I would get the drums and the bass going, and then you can add these extra little elements down here, like. Some effects stabs kind of in the high end. That'll just sort of help pace the beat so you get that psh, psh, kind of like call and response with those, just going through a bit of delay and a high pass. And then we have a little lead as well to kind of like, what this does for the groove is it tells you like every, 2 bars or so. It kind of resets it. We're in the key of G minor here, so what we're using is the root note, the 6th, the minor 7th, and then the 5th. Just kind of making this little catchy melody that you hear every 4 bars. We've got, this is like an operator lead, so we're just using a few sine waves at different octaves, right? Low pass filter, a bit of delay and reverb, and then we're just side chaining it. And yeah, so again, if you start the groove, get your kick really good, get the bass line, get those 2 working together. That snare over it, you can make all this other stuff. But I really just wanted to make this video and show you guys how to do the groove and how to get it from scratch and really make something high quality and something that's really actually bouncing like you want it to. So that's me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full template. The entire samples, MIDI, presets, and the project file are all available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely don't miss out, guys. It's a really great EBM template, one of the best on the market. And I promise, if you grab this right now, it'll really take your tracks to the next level. Don't miss out, guys. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video.